Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about whether proof sets are a good investment, and I'm going to be talking mostly about the more modern proof sets, so it's like 1971 to today. I'll get into a good history. There's been some changes for sure, a lot of different expansion recently with proof sets in general, but kind of giving my opinions on whether it's a good investment and thinking about the factors that would go into that. Because I think just to get it out there, I don't think that this is the best investment. I think that's better than some other ones, and they can be quite good if you acquire them at the right price, but that can often be pretty challenging to do. So for the full kind of expose, including how coin dealers are often buying these proof sets, let's get into the video. Alright, so right here is a 1990 proof set, and I'll just take it out of the case in case you don't really know what this looks like, but proof coins, for the real beginners, they've got these sort of cameo or really just these deep mirrory fields, and at least that's been the case for a lot of the much newer ones. That wasn't always the case when they kind of introduced the proof strike. Wouldn't always come out like that, but with this case, in 1990, almost all of them are going to have this sort of good proof strike where it's really, there's some good contrast, and the coins are frosty, and generally they've always had all of the main circulating coinage. So if they're in 1979 when there were Susan B. Anthony dollars, those would be included in the proof sets. So here in 1990 we were just doing the 5 coins, the main ones, so to speak, back then. So that's what ends up in the proof set, and then generally the proof set will also come with a certificate of authenticity, and then the box, and obviously is going to make it worth slightly more if you do have the box. Definitely the box, and some people are a little bit picky about the proof set certificate also being there as well. But that's what the traditional proof set is going to look like from 1964 to 1970. There were some pretty normal looking coins, but there's going to be silver in those as well as anything 64 and prior. I want to say that they pretty much started making them. There were definitely proof coins being struck intermittently. There were some proof Walking Liberty $50, kind of some one-off proof or special strike coins. But I think most of the common ones are going to be like 1957 and on. We're going to talk less about the silver stuff. I think that that's kind of a different case. There's tons of cherry picker errors and varieties on those. There's a lot of room, even up to kind of 1970, to do really well with some deep cameo potential, and that's not something, something I know about, but I'm not a big expert on. I'm talking more about these modern proof sets, like the ones in my hand. Now, we also have some stuff in the back here, so I'll just, grab these. So this is like a 2015 and 2016 proof set. So I'll just open this one up. 2015 here. They went through a few different stages. I kind of skipped the one. I'll show that in a moment. But we got 3 different things being shown off here. We have the circulating presidential dollars. Then we have the 5 state quarters. These are like the national park quarters. And then you also kind of have the normal coinage, except obviously they don't have the, they only have the one Sacagawea Native American dollar, and they don't have the quarters because they go through all those over here. But that is kind of marks some of the more rare or more expensive and pricey proof sets, just because a lot more goes into making these. This is only like 91 cents of coinage. This is a significant amount more than that. And then if I get this batch, we've got a huge thing right here of other sets, mostly proof sets. They did the same thing from 1999 to 2008. They had, they would put in the normal coins, then they would also get to the state quarters. So there were more involved there. And 1999, there wasn't a proof dollar. There was a Susan B. Anthony, but it wasn't mass produced enough where it made their way into the sets. And there's also these sort of tangential, like this is only the presidential dollars. This one's from 2007. This one's from 2014. They also had similar things. Let's see here, where it's just the state quarters, just the proof state quarters. So anyways, that's pretty much the overview in terms of the new stuff. And for my opinion, I think it's cool to do the state quarter from your state, or the state park quarter from your state. I think that those are really cool coins to own. They also had some neat bicentennial proof designs in 1975 and 1976. And there were different, not all of these are going to be the purple. There was some green a little later. There was some blue a little bit earlier, and then I think again like 1983, and then black colored sets from I think 72 to 82. Maybe it was 73, but I don't know. It was one of those. But regardless, so that's really what you're looking at. But I think the big problem with these, and what makes them not a phenomenal investment, is that they are not really rare. You often spend a lot, and then the ability to liquidate them or to sell them for more than what you paid is quite challenging. And this is on the modern stuff. It's a way different scenario going back a little bit longer. But these things generally are selling in near like a $6 range. So coin shops often will pay hardly anything over the coin face value inside them, because they can't take one of these and sell it individually on eBay. They have to do a big lot, so maybe they'll pay $1 for it. Or $1.50, but they're not going to be paying like $3 or $4 a set. That's really not economic for them. So these, that's the big thing with these. There are a few errors that you should be certainly on the lookout for. I think 1990, they've got a quarter that has a double die on the front of it. There's also a no S coin. These are all made in San Francisco, so they should have S mint marks. And often the mint would leave one off, and those coins can go. 1975 dime is like a $400,000 no S find. So, anyways, the like 1970 to 1990 stuff, I generally would say avoid. If you like doing it, you can do it certainly, but it's pretty illiquid. It's challenging to sell them. There's not a huge amount of demand for them, and when there is demand, so many of these were created that it's quite easy to get your hands on one and purchase one outright. That changes a little bit with 1999 to 2008, but not really. I just think that the novelty of having the quarter that corresponds with your personal state is cool, and it's not like you're losing a lot of money if you buy one of these sets. You can tie up a bunch if you want to do the full run, and that's just not really rare. It's not like a capped bust quarter or something like that, or a seated Liberty $50 in nice condition. These, a bunch of people saved them in really nice condition because they thought that they might get valuable, but there's no precious metals content in them. There are a few silver proof sets. Those started in 1992, but again, that's mostly the silver value that's in them. There's not a huge amount of collectability, and enough people save them with a forward-thinking eye. Plus, nobody's like cracking these open. There's such a big premium where they get spent and kind of lost. These generally stick around for a pretty long time. It's pretty clear that they're collectible, or collectible to some people. So they all stay around. It's not like the authentic process of coins that were once, just being used and become rare as they get worn down, lost, melted, you name it. These things are sticking around. Now, the big difference, I think 2009, 2010, these are a little bit rarer. They started kind of cutting. I think the demand wasn't great. Started cutting the mintage figures. Right here, this is like the key date. 2012, they did a mintage that was like 30% lower. I think it was below 1 million, maybe like 700,000 or 800,000 of them were made. And this is like a $150 set. I'm going to sell this. This is a more rare item, but I think personally, like now that people have identified it as being something super rare, it's challenging for it to really skyrocket, because I don't think there's a ton of people collecting these 2012 proof sets or putting together a run like we have over here in the background, because they're all being manufactured by the mint, but the mint is charging a fair amount of them for them as they come out of the mint, and I think that makes sense. Whatever they're able to sell for, that's what they should charge for them, and it's great if there can be some price appreciation. But there's not much precious metal in them, or the silver proof sets that they do make are super expensive. There's a lot more releases coming out of the mint, so it actually, I think that it's like tougher to catch them all and collect every coin that's coming out of the mint these days with all the super specific different strikes. So I think that hurts the long-term viability of like getting all of the proof sets from like 1950 to 1964. There's not a bunch of different like special strikes along the way. Really, you're just getting the coins in the nicest shape. Plus, the quality control is awesome these days, which is really nice. You get super pretty coins, but on old proof sets, some of them the coins look terrible, and others the striking process was much different. Whereas these are pretty much all carbon copies of each other. And then despite that having gone up in value, 2012, I think they charged like for $35 for them, call it maybe $40 with shipping, and now that's like $150 set. That's over. That's like the standout item, and that's been over about 9 years or so. Plus, if you're gonna sell it on eBay, by the time you ship it out, maybe you've made $90, and that's like the best case scenario. That's like what went really well recently. A bunch of the stuff like the 2017, 2018, 2019, there's been hardly any premium and just challenging to sell. And I see coin shops paying really low money for this sort of thing. So if you're in a pinch, or your ancestor or somebody else is selling it for you, or you just need to get rid of it, it's going to be pretty challenging to have a bunch of people paying up for it, because it's also quite available on eBay. It's, again, not like, they're quite good quality control, so it makes it much different in terms of getting people to find there's really good looking coins in this set that are struck far nicer than 99% of the other ones. That doesn't exist. That pretty much brings us to the conclusion of the video. I don't think that these are great. It's not like it's a horrible investment, but you want to know what it is going into it, right? So that's what I always say. There's plenty of people who love collecting this sort of thing. I would say in that case, if you do get it, the big advice would be keep the boxes in nice shape. Make sure that the certificate of authenticity is there. Don't write on the boxes. That's like a classic move. People don't really want to know. This was a mistake. Somebody wrote the price that they paid, $32.45 for this box. Unfortunately, that's going to knock some significant value off of the box. So that's our closing remark. But if you have a different opinion, always would be interested in hearing your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel and connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I also have a website, treasuretownYT.com, where you should go so that you can learn more about coins as well as what's happening on the channel, and possibly find a place to sell your coins and collectibles. I also want to talk about some of my other projects like coinmeltprice.com, which shows precious metals prices as well as the melt values of coins containing those precious metals, both US and world. I also have coinsmetalscards.com, which will develop into a full marketplace as well as a news source for coins, metals, cards, as the name might suggest. And then treasuretowncoins.com, which long-term will be my coin dealing entity separate from the channel. And lastly, whatsthegrade.com, which will be a stickering service for already certified collectibles where you can get a approval or verification of the grade on the holder. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you on some of my other videos.